Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kay Wilson, and from the title you can see I'm talking about my birth of my baby boy Messiah, who passed away after living for just one day. Before I talked about the 6 pregnancies that I had and my baby girl Angel's death. With Messiah, there was just so much hope with him. Um, I'm gonna start off when I was 22 or 23 weeks. Me and my husband went to go take my son to get his hair cut at the barber shop. We signed him in and we sit down. As soon as we sit down, instantly my water broke. When my water broke, I automatically knew something wasn't right because I went through this before with Angel. All right, so we're downtown. The first person I called was my aunt because she works at City Hall, and the City Hall was right there by the hospital because I just was in so much disbelief at what's happening to me again. We get to the emergency room, they check me in. Oh, your water is completely broken. Your bag is completely ruptured. We're going to have to see if we can hold him in a little bit longer. Okay, cool. They give me the shots in my side butt to help strengthen his lungs. And they gave me about 2 shots, I believe. Was in there for a few hours. They basically tried to keep him in there. Few hours passed by. Time to push. He had to come out. You're completely dilated. They try to put me, when they lean me back, I think they called it like the T-bird or something like that, where they lean me completely back in the bed. But of course that didn't work. He just was ready to come out. Came out buttock first. They had me push him out. I pushed like 2 or 3 times and he came completely out. Came out screaming, crying. Everything was good. Heart rate good, breathing good. Everything was looking positive. Everything was going well as it's supposed to be. So me and my husband, we, hold him. They sent him to the NICU or whatever to monitor over him because he was a little bit under the weight. Later on that night, we get a knock at the door, and it was my nurse, and she basically was like, okay, we need y'all to rush down to the NICU. Something isn't right. They calling for the parents of Messiah. Wait, something's not right. Let's hurry up and get there. So we get there, and they explained to me while I'm pushing him out. He had bruises on his thighs from him coming out buttocks first. So they abused his thighs. He had bleeding on his brain. It's like everything just took a turn for the worse at that point. He had bleeding on his brain. He was bruised up really bad, like on his hips. Just a lot of stuff that they were saying that didn't make sense because he was fine. So we get there and they in there rushing around doing all this different stuff. They had him on one breathing ventilator and he was adapting really good to it. And the head doctor, I believe, she came in there and basically took him off of that breathing machine to give him another one. That it just was too much for him. He didn't adapt to it very well. It was causing him to breathe heavier than what he should have been. So the doctors basically kept going back and forth with the breathing machine. At one point, he had this one nurse that was crying because she knew that that ventilator was just too much for him and he was doing better with that one. So they basically put us out the room. They running in and out of there doing x-rays and ultrasounds on his brain and on his body and stuff to see what was going on. After all that was said and done, we sat in there, we prayed, we cried. The head doctor, she come in there like, okay, there's nothing else we can do for him. Made no sense to me. And to this day, I think out of all of my pregnancies, that one hurts me the most because I know that Messiah is supposed to be here because he was, whether he came 23 weeks early, he fought. He was doing well when we left him, when they took him to the NICU. And it really hurts me the most. It hurt me, really hurts because they knew what I previously went through with my first pregnancy with them, which was Angel. And they knew my first loss was, a lot. They witnessed that. They was there with me. So to me, I feel like they didn't took the proper steps they needed to make sure that my pregnancy was going to be healthy, that they should have had everything in place that they should have had. At that point, I just was like, you know what? Forget it. I gave up on everything. I went through a deep depression. Just give me my baby. I sat in there, hold him, cry with him, gave him his last bath, and I just was so numb. I didn't want to have nothing to do with nobody. They discharged us from the hospital. I'm like, boo, I need you to stop me at the ABC store. Last week night, we stopped at the store. I sat at my kitchen table, drunk me a bottle of liquor, and I had me a Black and Mild because I was so hurt and so in so much pain. My depression was bad. It wasn't that I was on any medicine. I self-medicated myself by being angry to everyone. I didn't want to deal with nobody. Don't call my phone. Don't come to my house. I just was done because that's 2 babies back to back within a year that I lost. And whether they were sick or came early, I feel like nobody tried. I feel like the doctors let me down completely. And it just was basically a check for them. And not caring about the fact that, okay, she just had a baby. She lost this baby. Let's do what we can do to make sure that this one survive and be good. After Angie Messiah, I just grew so distant from people. I didn't want to deal with nobody. Me and my husband, we did what we were able to get through it. But you still have that thought and that negative in the back of your head, like, okay, why? In my previous video, you can see me, I was talking about, you can't question, but in that moment, when something happens, you're going to question because you're human. So it's why? Why me? This is not making sense. I need to know why is this happening to me. Got past the babies of Angie and Messiah. And like I said, the depression was so bad, I shut down. I would walk around, try to, smile, be around family, everybody, like my church family, my family, my in-laws. It just was so much hurt and just disbelief. Everybody would die kids and the holidays and birthdays. Here I am, little old me, just depressed, going through it, and nobody. People can say all day long, oh, I understand you, I'm praying for you, I know exactly how you feel. Until you experience a miscarriage, a D&C, a stillbirth, delivering a baby, period, and cannot take that baby home with you, it will crush you. So everything that people were saying to me, thank you, I appreciate it, but I didn't want to hear it because I didn't have neither one of my kids. Yes, I did have my oldest son with me, but it was so much, the fact that I carried these babies, I grew attached to them, is so much hurt. But I just, for me, I just was able to, it was a turnaround. I couldn't sit there. I couldn't, dwell in that place. I was able to pick myself up and start over again. I got back in church. I started back dealing with my, my family, the little bit friends that I did deal with. And it was more so just to have someone to talk to. So my takeaway, ladies, if you don't do nothing else, try to keep your mind. It is so hard, but try to keep your mind if you don't do nothing else. And when someone's offering you the support, take it. Even if it's just a shoulder to cry on or bring you something to eat, because I also had those too. Like, it helps. It will get you through. It won't bring back the baby, but you will always have, those memories. Just to encourage, I love each and every one of you. Next week, again, about 2 weeks, I've been going for a while now, so I'm back trying to work on this thing. I'm going to do a Q&A session, so switch it up a little bit. If you have any questions that you like to ask me, I'm an open book, transparent. I don't hide nothing. You can drop it down in the comments below. Until next time, love you. Be safe. Thank you. Have a blessed day.